Off and on the clock, and we have a very special guest. You might know him from the Underdog Streets, a two-time Dog Bowl qualifier. It is, of course, Chad Maschke, and he's been hard at work in the lab reviewing data for weekly winners. So we're going to dig into some of his findings there. Naturally, we'll do a draft, but be prepared for the weekly winners alpha. That's what's coming at you today here on Off and on the Clock with John, Nez, myself, and our guest, Chad. All right, here we go. We got Nez back in the saddle after our ship chasing weekend. We got John broadcasting from a new setup here. John, you don't do too many shows away from your normal battle station.
No, I feel lost without the logs beside me, the beautiful stumps that everybody's been raving about. But yeah, we got to play a road game today, but I couldn't miss this. After Pete crowns a new quant emerges a day later. Yeah, I don't know about this.
I realized too, now this has become a recurring bit where Eggers earns a banner on the previous show, and then it's naturally, or it stays up here. This one says, "Do you feel punished, Eggers?" I'm sure we'll hit a new one today. Nez, have you recovered from our weekend in Austin?
Yeah. I think my voice is like slowly coming back, but got a great night's sleep in my own bed for like the first time in over a week because I was gone for the week prior. Hopped on a quick stream with PPR Tyler to get my bearings once again. Kind of talked about some of the trip there, but yeah, no, I'm feeling good, and I've been just going crazy with the drafts because my wife is now out of town. We did like a quick clap hands, see you later, and passing, ships passing in the night, and so with her not here, it's just been draft city. Like it's having so much fun.
What about you, Chad, our guest of honor today? Has it been Data City or Draft City or both for you?
It's been a combination of both. So I took off until like June is when I hopped in. So I never get in early at all. I actually was a month earlier than last year. So trying to max BBM, weekly winners, and the limb. So trying to really like cram those in. With 3 kids and the coaching baseball, it's been hard, but the slows have been where I've been living for the most part. Except last night, I hopped in a couple of limbs and I saw Nez in there with me. So,
yep.
Wow, there you go. Yeah, we did get the official PSA from Michael Dubner, who had crunched the math, and I believe he said August 6th. So that's in 2 days, kind of last call. If you really want to make sure that the majority of your drafts are done before the clock shorten, I believe that's happening around August 20th. So yeah, if you are able to sit on the clock all the time, then maybe those shortened clocks don't bother you. If they do, consider this one of your final warnings to pile into the slow drafts and maintain your sanity and mental health in late August.
Yeah, Pete, in completely unrelated news, if anybody wants to draft with me, I'm in the next 10 BBM slows.
Wow. BBM slows. There you go.
I got like 30 slow puppies left. So I've been like doing a good job of like slowly knocking those out. So I'm not in hell there, but I had to get that slow draft puppy max with 100K to first.
Yeah. Well, yes. And last night I hopped in like the next 15 limbs and saw every single one of them filled to like 7. And then I'm like, I'm just going to go out because it's all the same people. This is not the time to be doing slow limbs.
Yeah. Dubner put out the bat signal for like every sharp to enter these slow drafts. So yeah, I'm trying to do fast only for a limb, like for that reason. I'd rather see 2 out of 12 than 7 and 9 out of 12.
See, this is probably the sharpest thing I've done. I had to front run the Dubner announcement. I went back and found his tweet from last year. This was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I did the math. I knew we had an extra year, and then I timed it where I did, shout out to my friend Claude to help me with the exact processing of it. But I was like, you do 15 slows on Monday, Thursday, these subsequent ones. So I think I got a lot of randoms in mine. And now I think I'm just going to leave my last 15 or so to do fast in August here. But Chad, so what is this? Obviously you always like to grind these games big in the daily streets. What got you fixated on weekly winners specifically this year?
Yeah, well, the first year it came out, I threw in like 75 entries or whatnot, made a little bit of money off of it. Liked the format and just liked how it helped with the bankroll too, just getting paid out a little bit throughout the year. And second year, so in 2024, kind of the same thing. I little bit of profitable on it. Last year, obviously, had a much better year winning in week 8, and week 8 was just a crazy week in general because that's
Best
the week
week of
I
your life.
qualified for the Dog Bowl as well. So hitting both of those back to back was insane. But I just have always felt like there's a little bit of untapped edge on weekly winners with how people draft it, how everyone kind of thinks and is applying some best ball principles without like thinking through that it's 17 different weeks on here. That's one continuous roster. And how do you like lean in the best on it? And I mean, even if you take away my win last year, I was still profitable in weekly winners. So I ran through the numbers, and of the max drafters, only 2% of people who maxed, if you take away their win, were profitable. I'm sorry, take away their highest scoring win, were profitable last year. So that's not only 2% of drafters are profitable, but that's if you pull everyone's top win away from them. So it was
This is
kind of, yeah.
This is the old taking the 80-yard run away from Derrick Henry, and he's still plus after contact here.
Yeah. Just trying to make sure that like, because anyone can get lucky for 1 week, right?
Mhm.
So that's part of what draws people into these games. And like with weekly winners, you have 17 chances just off of one entry to get lucky with it. So it was fun. So I was like, I think there's an edge here. Let's go and try and dive in with the data. And my friend Claude also has made that a lot easier to be able to synthesize, get the data, and have some of the answers, hopefully. And I know it's one sample, but it's split up 17 weeks. So I've got a lot of data, Pete, that we've got here that we can go through and kind of recap what happened last year, and then how do we apply it this year? Because that's really like the big question is like the draft landscape has changed. Everyone's pushing running backs up. So my team that had 4 running backs in the first 4 rounds, and they were 4 pretty much top 15 running backs. That's not really possible, but how do we now apply the same principles?
Can you do a little, I bet one question for people, right? And we kind of know this, there's a resistance to different formats than what we're all used to. People want the puppy 19. They want to just have that comfort food, be able to draft exactly how they normally draft without thinking. It's the same reason people push back on Superflex. It's like, I like it, but it requires a lot of extra brain power. Being realistic, Chad, what would you say? Like, what level of attention do you need to do a weekly winners draft well? Do you need tools? Do you need to be staring at schedule grid stuff? Like, I think for people who maybe are hesitant to get in, what do you think the kind of bar is that you need to clear to do this well?
I actually think it's probably less than some of the others. You don't really need to worry too much about correlation. Yeah, stacking teammates and stacking bye weeks are 2 pretty easy cheat codes to have on there. And you're just going for ceiling. You don't need to worry about week to week. You can take zeros in weekly winners because
and boy, do I do that.
So going for that ceiling matters a whole lot more. And then you're just hoping to get lucky that the ceiling's hit in 1 week. And that is what it is. But you can construct a bunch of rosters, especially if you have a portfolio of them, where it makes it a lot more likely that one's going to break through here or there. Because you get, like I said, you've got 17 chances at it. So, but I think that barrier is a lot lower.
And are there, one of the things that I do think people find attractive about weekly winners, it's like, oh, you want to play to win the first quarter of the season, or you want to optimize for a few specific weeks. Like, do you think that is a viable way to approach it, to like hyperfixate on a section of the contest and try to win that? Or do you think just trying to build really strong teams on the whole is the best way to approach it?
Yeah, I think just trying to build strong teams on the whole is the best way to approach it. It's impossible for me to tell what someone's strategy is if they're targeting a specific week as I'm like going through the data. Like, I don't know, hey, this John decided to target week 4 because it would have been week 7 or whatever. Bengals and Bears were playing against each other. I have no idea on how you go about targeting, but the divisional games, if you can stack those, you get 2 shots at run backs, because there is a little bit of correlation with it, but there's less because you're just going for the absolute ceilings here. So there's actually less game correlation in here than you'll get in a BR or obviously in a dog bowl as well.
Gotcha. Does it make sense? Do you guys have any other kind of table setting questions for Chad before we get, kind of more into the hardcore data here?
The one that's been going through my head right now is, did you apply one isolated strategy to the entirety of your lineups last year?
I didn't, but I was more running back heavy in weekly winners than I was in my overall portfolio. So like I was already leaning into that because you need those ceiling weeks from running backs to get there. So looking back, like I could have, and it's always easier, hindsight, leaned into it even more than I did. And I'm leaning into it more this year. But if you think the pendulum's going to swing back the other way, because it always does, and we've been in a non-running back injury landscape here for a while, then some of this you'll take with a grain of salt. And where we draw the lines on, hey, what running back has a ceiling or doesn't, that's still going to be personal opinion with a lot of this stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when we did our show, I don't know, what did we do? Maybe a couple months ago, we did a weekly winners show, and we were looking at some of those winning lineups. And I think one of the surprising things, and you mentioned this looking for ceiling, it's like it was this interesting dynamic where you did need the like weekly league winners, the guys that were the highest scoring, like those are going to be populated and represented. But then it was like just having some floor, some guys scoring 10 to 11 points to just kind of raise that up and actually realize the benefit of the nuke players. It does kind of, again, start to mess with your brain of like, you need the spikes, but you also need like the non-zeros to make sure you can enjoy the spikes even being on your roster.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'll just say, you're going to see it in the later slides of the data there that I was looking through this morning. Like there was week 9 needed 6 points to get it done. Like week 12 needed 8 points to get it done. Like you don't need ceiling from every slot.
Yeah, it's just getting that right combination with it. And then the other thing, and I don't remember if it is in that deck or not, the way that onesies work too, right? With QB and tight end. If someone runs away with it, you, especially tight end, you needed that guy a lot more than if it's relatively flat. So.
Well, I do have your slides up here. You're welcome to tell me. I can easily toggle to a specific slide number. We can bounce around. We can go in order. You are the captain here, Chad.
Well, sure. I mean, if you want to go to the next slide, is my team that I had on there. So kind of just was starting it with this, where I started 4 running backs. And it is, I mean, obviously you are drafting someone who will not hit your starting lineup when you start the draft with 4 running backs, because we can only play 3 of them. But I did this a few times last year, and I've done it even more this year. You are giving yourself a shot at that high ceiling, because there's no running back later last year that really could hit this ceiling, like a 30-point ceiling. Even Javonte, Rico got there a couple of weeks when Chuba was out, but that is like the one-off. So giving yourself a better chance at hitting the ceiling together is why I went this way. I did get lucky where Cook was falling. This was when the contract situation was going on with it.
Jesus Christ.
So Cook fell here, but took advantage of that. And then I followed it up with those receivers who didn't even hit the lineup on here.
Yeah.
And you can see my round 16, 17, 18 all hit my lineup on here. So it's just kind of getting a lot of those. No receiver really ran away with it. Troy Franklin was wide receiver 1 on the week. Got him in the 16th round. So you've got that mixed with the spiking 30-point running backs, and it was going to be a good week on here. So we got 198.5, and my third QB also played with Daniel Jones. And it's weird that I've got Daniel Jones, JT, and Pittman all in here, but there is a lot of correlation with the teams that won. Even if they didn't hit the lineup, all pieces of it, they are going with players and quarterbacks that then hit the ceiling, because it is help driving it. Good offensive environment is good for everyone on the team.
Doesn't this look like seeing the winning pieces that hit the lineup? Doesn't this feel like a BR bank? You have the high end running backs who go nuke. You have like a cheaper tight end, and then you have the skinny stack going a little undrafted. You know, your Jones, Pittman, there, whatever. I mean, these are like those are the levers we are kind of used to pulling in these contests to get it done, and just those 30-point weeks are unavoidable. You have to have them to win a contest on those weeks.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. The parallels are really funny. This team is just like nasty as heck, man. Like this was such a good team, and like didn't even need Bucky. And if Bucky would have been healthy, like this team probably would have won again at some point. But the Pickens Olave like giga smash with just like 4 great running backs. I mean, yeah, that's just you're gonna win money there.
Was this team? Did it have any other caches? Obviously, this was the big one. But like Nez said, this is a juggernaut.
Nothing like noteworthy because weekly winners is so top heavy that it did not really spike up there again. It cashed, I think, 2 other weeks if I remember right, but close to min caches. So.
Which again, I mean, that's like the humbling portion of this, right? We're looking at this, like Nez said, you see Pickens and Olave, like the nutted 5-6 there, just absolute smashes at running back. You know, Jonathan Taylor Cook, both finished, I think top 6, top 7 on the year and running back scoring. And it's like, without this week, this team has just a couple of min caches. That's not the best selling point for this contest, but it's the reality of the situation.
It's why we need to be methodical with it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it's really hard. So like, let's look into the data and see why.
Chris Rodriguez never wrong, just early.
Yeah, the Chris Rodriguez bros not liking this 0.2 they see here from week 8.
See, yeah, he sucks, guys. Don't take him.
All right, so yeah, so you got some takeaways here from the win. What should people be looking to emulate?
This was talking about my like portfolio overall.
Okay. So
because acknowledging, right? Because anyone can spike a single week. So, but why would you listen to me on here? So I kind of hit that top of the show where I've been profitable all 3 of the years so far. But even take away that last year, I was still plus 13, almost 14% on ROI, maxing it. So, then just kind of some summaries on there, and then only 7 out of 175 drafters. So I was a little off on my percent. The 2% was something else. I don't remember what it was. But if you remove their best week, 7 out of 175 were still profitable. So, but yeah, the next slide is kind of the running back centric slide that talks about ROI on here. And when you take your first running back is a green line, second running back's the blue, third being the yellow, and fourth running back being the red, you can see there was a massive tilt to taking those running backs early for ROI on here, including a lot of winners were loaded up on the running backs early on. And you can just see it kind of levels out with a couple of spikes, one Javonte and one Rico later on if you're taking it. So you can almost see some of these players essentially where they sat in ADP. But without that early on, taking those running backs got you your ROI. And I did control too for like the fact that it's so top heavy. So even if you capped the winning payouts or any payout over 1,000, it still holds where this is the right strategy to take those running backs early. So
the irony in conversations around the running back dead zone for 3 straight years, and then just seeing where the spikes and smashes come from in this contest, and it being pinpointed to what we would have quintessentially called the dead zone of the past.
Yeah. But I think it also speaks to, right? Like I'm guessing what's happening here why zero RB is more viable in say traditional formats is because just getting the backup running back who's now capable of scoring 15, 16 points then supercharges the rest of the team, allows you to have the high end wide receivers that are going for 25 plus. But in this contest, like even hitting on a zero RB pick, it does you no good if like, let's say Bill last year did what he did down the stretch, like for an extended period of time. But if he's only averaging 15 to 20 points a game and not getting the 30 plus point games, like the guys here who get that volume. And because part of the dead zone is from chasing projectable volume, you're going to have projectable volume hits To score 30 points, you need to be touching the ball 20 times. And occasionally, Josh Jacobs does that over and over again. I mean, at least that's how I'm kind of processing this data.
Yeah, it's the opportunity cost, right? When you take that receiver and you lock yourself out of one of these ceiling ones, even if they hit their ceiling, it's not going to be as high. And the later receivers, generally, unless you hit Javonte or Rico, have the same ceiling outcome or even median with it. If you just shoot enough shots out at it, because like that last one, I had 8 wide receivers or something like that. And my last 2 is what hit my lineup. So,
yeah.
So that's the opportunity cost. It's not something we talk enough about here. And that opportunity cost in weekly winners, way different than it is in normal best ball.
Right.
Yeah. And then do you think that spike here for the audio listeners, we're looking at a chart, team ROI by round, each running back was drafted. And it's this, what is that? Is that round 5, between round 4 and 5 there, plus 488%? Is that do you think represents the cliff of where the running backs who are capable of going for 30 plus really falls off?
It does, and it hits that dead zone running back, right? So a lot of this was driven by if you got one of the top 15-ish running backs, and it was a lot more doable. You could get 4 top 15 running backs, not all the time, obviously, but you could a little bit last year. This year, it's going to be a lot harder to do that. So it is where you've got that drop off essentially into the guys who are still projectable to get volume, but they don't have the ceiling outcomes available to them.
And then it's kind of funny how that lines up with even this year's ADP, right? Because we do have that string of running backs going in round 5 where we're all kind of doing that dance of, do these guys have the ability to go for 30? And we're doing it with Henderson and Judkins and Tootin. We're saying can DeAndre Swift still do it here? It is kind of funny where even the market is saying, all right, this is last call for the guys who could realistically do it.
That's funny. That's exactly what I'm looking at right now, Pete. And just saying how much of this right now is a structural dynamic and how much of this is just the landscape of last year specifically is where that spike came from, or is this repeatable?
Yep. Anything else here, Chad, or should we go to another slide?
Yeah, I want to go to the next one. And that can kind of put names to this on who supplied the spike. So who gave a top 3 week at QB or tight end here? Because it's the onesies, like I mentioned earlier, when they go off and you need them. So you've got Josh Allen, who was going round 2 on there. And then Dak and Drake May both got top 3 weeks 4 different times on there and way different cost on it. So that's the other thing. When looking at it, Dak was a much better pick than Josh Allen for weekly winners on here, just because of the fact they both spiked the same number of times, but you could get one of those ceiling running backs or even an alpha receiver, right, in round 2 instead of Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I think, if I remember right, is on 3 of the winning teams, though, too. So, when he went off, he went off. So it is trying to figure out what is most important to you there. So tight end is also McBride and Bowers. And when you take into account that Bowers was injured most of the year and then missed some games, the fact that those 2 are running away with it, 2nd and 3rd round, they're still there this year. They are still good picks.
Yeah. The McBride one right there, that's the case for elite tight end in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many because this is the amount of times he finished top 3 on the week. Do you know how many times he was in the winning lineup?
Top of my head, I do not on McBride. I think he crashed there once. And that's the other thing that I tried to do with this analysis too. It's not just the winning lineup, right? Because there's so much luck when you're talking when you're in the top 0.1% or 0.5%. So I don't recall top of my head, but I do think he hit it at least once.
I don't see him in the. Oh, I guess this is just the stack partners that you listed, not the entirety of the winning lineups. Right. He wasn't listed as a stack partner, which makes sense because nobody drafted Brissett. Because
that's then another interesting conversation where I guess it's At most other positions, like finishing top 3 does like speak to spike. You could almost argue with tight end that it almost might speak to floor a little bit as well, just because it's such a low scoring position, which then becomes interesting with like where does this, and maybe it's on another slide, but where do you fall on elite tight end, for this year? Because we do have a pretty clear demarcation with top 3 guys. Are you in on those guys for this contest?
To a certain degree, I am. It depends who else is on the board, right? So McBride, yes, I'm still in on him. Bowers is going just a little bit ahead of him, and it depends on which running backs are still there. If they're all gone, then I'll take Bowers and just fill a running back later with it. But I do think that they still have that ceiling. And I was just looking, I don't see McBride in one of the top lineups last year. Part of that is his highest scoring week was also Kyle Pitts 40 burger that he put up. So that's the other part. Like he was top 3 with a 34 point something, but he got outdone by Pitts late. So that is part of what you are also banking on when you do one of these elites, is that nobody else spikes from that same position.
Yes. Yep. All right, let's see here. Up next, we have where each round's picks should go. Explain to us this heat map we're looking at.
Yeah, so this is looking at last year's results and how like the top 1%, like I said, I like to broaden it out versus just the winners on here. And you can see it kind of shows you what was successful. Early running back. You've got McBride in there on your top 1% for round 3 and tight end. Then that receiver pocket, and that's what I've been trying to hit a lot of because they still have a ceiling, the receivers in round 4 through 7, give or take. So they can still spike up there with close enough to Chase or Puka or JSN. Not quite the same, but getting those running backs to pair with them helps. And then the QBs later. This is probably going to be different when we talk about how we apply it this year with the changing landscape. And that's what I've seen in best ball too, right? Because like Goff, Stafford, some of those guys have pushed way up where they were in the green zone here. Stafford's even way further back on here. But you're talking about a lot of the guys, Caleb, that pushed up to get that top 1% rate. And then the tight ends. So a lot of this meta is what we were talking about last year with the different pockets and seeing them. So,
yep. You guys have any thoughts on
no, I'm just like taking this all in. I know we got a lot to go through, so I just want to let Chad do his thing. I do have some thoughts, but I think when we get into a draft, I'll get to them. It's more like forward thinking.
Yeah, I'm building things in reverse right now. Like I'm putting names to where those percentile outcomes are, and I'm being like, okay, now I get Waddle in the 4th here. Yep. Okay, that's good. And like I'm building a team in my mind with these spikes.
So what I'm thinking about, just to like, I guess, just like actually speak here, is that I think last year, like this is what we're doing this year. And they're both of these metas are correct. It's just there were fewer people going as hard as they needed to go last year on this RB heavy meta. You saw it with the Eliminator too. I was like, holy crap, man! Like nobody's playing the Eliminator correctly, and it's not like I made a bunch of money, but it was like, man, no, I don't think people really understand what they're doing, and they weren't. And it was the same thing with Superflex. Like that RB like meta just wasn't caught up. And now that we are doing it, I think it opens up new pockets of value. But I'm sure, Chad, you have your own thoughts and whatnot on that take.
Yeah, well, it definitely does. And Pete, if you go to the next one, I talk a little bit about the lessons that were learned, more on the QB side on here, but also the change in ADP that we've got, because that's positional rank for running back. So you can see the green line now is where it is pushed up. Versus like, and this is running back 1 or running back 12 on there. So they are definitely going earlier. So it makes it harder. And so I titled the slide that they have to learn the lesson, because we learned the lesson on the running back side, but going over to the onesies, right? Lamar, I've got all the QBs from last year. There's different reasons. The ones who failed, like Lamar, I mean, he was going ahead of Josh Allen last year. He's now the 4th to 5th round here. Jaden Daniels, Hurts, Burrow, they have all slid. Mahomes obviously has a different reason. that he's slid with the ACL, but it's starting to creep back up. And then the guys who hit last year, Drake May, Dak, and Caleb, they have pushed way up, almost in front of some of these guys that we thought of as elite last year. So they are they are been corrected on some of this repricing, but I think now to a point where they have become values with how everything has changed around here.
Yeah, fully agree. Especially seeing your chart, man. Like round 5 was like a really sweet spot for the quarterbacks, which is like traditionally that okay, QB1's gone. What we have today essentially is just like this massive pocket of elites that are like ambiguously priced when you can take your shots there. It's a lot of fun. And the other thing I'm seeing too is like with this running back chart, like we are now drafting those round 4 running backs last year. These are actually round 5 running backs, and like based on how you like read this chart. And to me, it's like, so were those round 4 running backs good because you just needed a running back through 4, or like, are we pushing up landmines? I think it's an interesting, thought.
Yeah, good points, Nez. I really like how Chad in the chat put it there, that it's never been a better time to draft elite quarterbacks not named Josh Allen.
Yep. Those are some of my highest owned players in the portfolio, regardless of format. So
I'm sure we're probably getting to this, but how do you think about stacking with those elite quarterbacks? If you do take the plunge, are you betting on the rushing, specifically for these top 4 here, Allen, Lamar, Daniels, Hurts, or are you still looking for that correlated element to, reduce the number of things you have to get right in the lineup?
I mean, I'm looking for the rushing, but I will still stack every single one of them. So, I mean, Lamar and Zay is fun because if Zay gets there, Lamar is likely to get there as well if he adds anything rushing wise. And then you still have the back stack with Andrews to take care of 2 onesie positions on there. Jaden is interesting because you've got Terry, and then yes, you have Chig, but then it's kind of can you get ahead of it and stack? Is it Diggs who's going to end up there? I don't know, but if it is, that's not a bad way to play it and just hope that you get ahead of that.
Minus 580 this morning, I saw.
Really? Okay.
There you go. So I mean, that's a fun one that I have done multiple times with it, where it's not really a teammate that I'm stacking, and no tool's going to do that because they're not projecting that happens. But I'm still going to lean into it as I go through. Burrow's an obvious stack partner, and I don't care if it's Chase or Higgins or Gesicki or Brown, right? All of them can catch passes with it. So, and Burrow can throw to 5 touchdowns to 5 different guys. So,
Yep. All right. Next we have here, it takes around 200 to matter. This is the amount of points you will likely need to crack to win one of these weeks.
Yep. So it ranged from 183 to 240. And John, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just saying that it just sounds like such a massive number on the surface with how top heavy these are. Because if you go back and you look at your BBM portfolios and stuff like that, I mean, maybe you had 1 or 2 teams get to 200 once last year in a 150 portfolio.
Yeah. Which, I mean, makes sense, right? Because it should be hard to hit this. The interesting part to me was that it didn't matter the bye week. So it's not like it's easier one of the weeks where there are 6 teams on bye with it. That did not really have an effect. And part of that makes sense because it is just ceiling outcomes. So you still have 186,000 teams on here. So there's still going to be a lot that are full teams for that range. The lowest winner being that 183 week 13. That's Thanksgiving week. So everyone played, but there are a lot of short weeks that week. So that was interesting too. I don't know that it's a usable takeaway, but it's just something I noticed with that. So that 240, everything just went crazy. And I think that was T-Law 44, if I remember right.
Just to skip ahead and put a little context to that, the week 13 stack that won was Jordan Love to Dontavian Wicks, who both had 25 fantasy points. And then the 240 week, like the big outlier one, was T-Law to Travis Etienne. Also had Travis Hunter on that team, but wasn't playing. But 44 for Trevor Lawrence to 30 from Etienne really swung things, like 75 points between a running back and your quarterback.
Yeah, it just can get bonkers like that, but generally you don't need that much.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and I just
And
put
this
the
is
cutoffs
like-
for the different percentiles. Sorry, Pete.
And not saying that this isn't interesting, but they're like, you can't optimize for like how many points you need. It's just kind of giving you the framework of you're going to need to score a shit ton of points to make money in this contest.
Yeah. I don't know. All I saw was Dontavian Wicks weekly winners winner.
There you go. There you go. Next slide we got here. Stack the buys, stack the quarterback. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, the ROI goes up if you are stacking buys. If you've got 3 or more players who share a buy, it goes up, and every single step of the way, ROI actually goes up on it. And then stacking the quarterback, kind of the same. They have overlapping principles, right? Because obviously, if you're stacking your quarterback, you are stacking your bye weeks on there too. But if you go just even beyond the one single team and stack the bye weeks, that's good. There is a point where people overstack or reach too much and lose value with it too. So that's something to weigh as you're doing it. So it's not going to be like, hey, my first pick is a week 6 bye. I'm only going to draft week 6 players. That's a bad way to do it. But all else being equal, use it as a tiebreaker. So, and then, 16 out of the 17 winners had a QB stacked with their teammate on their roster. So the only one that didn't was a naked Josh Allen.
Man, maybe I'm missing something or clearly not smart enough, but this big of a jump for top 1% rate for stacking a bye week, because to me, isn't the advantage of stacking a bye week spread out across the 16 other or whatever the other non-bye weeks, and the benefit isn't concentrated on a specific week, and yet it's resulting in a top 1% rate for a specific week?
Yeah, well, it means that team hit a top 1% week in one of the other 16 weeks, essentially.
But still, that's like that big of a jump is surprising to me.
Yep. So if you want a top 1% and give yourself a chance, it's a good way to kind of just lean into the smaller edges. So, and I did that a lot last year.
Okay. I mean, because it's almost like when we talk about week 17 correlation, and we've all kind of calibrated to the point where it's like, yeah, it's something you want to do. It's a tiebreaker. To what extent would you sacrifice a half round of ADP value to stack a bye week? Would you sacrifice a full round? Like, how far is that bye week in this, percentage increase worth it to you?
It depends where you are in the draft too, right? Like later in the draft, I'll sacrifice more with it. I've historically been an ADP hound and like a value hound with it. So I will stick to it a little bit more. But if I've got a player take and I like someone, that could make me do a round and a half early with it. So it's a hard thing to say exactly the amount. I didn't put this in here, but a lot of the positive ROI had positive ADP value too. So it is that, like, how do you weigh the two? And that's going to vary for it's going to vary for what your comfort level is and what your player takes are. So that's an unscientific answer to a lot of data. So
there's 2 things that I'm thinking about right now. I'm looking at bye weeks right now that have divisional correlation as well. So stacking Rams and Seahawks is one that kind of just jumps out. Week 11, you can put those together. Plus you get 2 games versus each other. Plus those were shootout games last year. So maybe there's something there. And then Chad in the chat bringing up results in a lot of unique roster constructions. I could argue the inverse as well, that this doesn't result in unique rosters, because it could have in the past, and everybody was building with the bye weeks incorrectly and building like normal style teams in this contest. It's actually going to layer combos. Once this becomes common knowledge, it's going to layer combos less unique because there's going to be more overlap.
Yeah, and well said. And I know Chad has like some uniqueness data in terms of like it mattering or not for like certain players. So excited to get to that. The one card that I'm like looking at right now that I am absolutely like beaming because I had this take and the father of weekly winners, Hayden Winks, disagreed with me. So the bottom left, 11.5% to 16.4%, the top 1% rate from for somebody that has 0 pass catchers all the way to 3+. I told you, man. You gotta just like throw bullets at that team and then figure the rest out. The counter was, oh, just do a skinny stack because those guys aren't going to hit your lineup. But like, if that quarterback goes off, you want to have all these other options. To me, that just like makes so much sense, and I'm just very glad to see that validated. And just the ROI difference is crazy there.
You saw it in Chad's lineup with the Colts stuff.
I know.
The thing we didn't talk about in my lineup, I had Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant on the team, right?
Yep.
And it wasn't even stacked, right? So the thought is, right, that Denver is going to score points. I want one of the two. 10 of these players aren't going to hit your lineup anyway, right? So, like, give yourself the most shots at a narrower outcome, but the thing you're going for is Denver is going to – it was Denver-Dallas that week. Denver's going to put up a lot of points against a bad Dallas defense. Where it hits, if it hits one of those two, that's good for me. If it goes to Sutton, SOL.
Well, and it goes back to the format differences, right? Like if you told someone you could get one mega hit in the late rounds, but let's just say it would cost you 3 other zeros around it. You might not even take that bet just knowing, man, if I'm taking 3 zeros over and over through the pods, like I might be toast. But if you make that, that devil's trade-off in this kind of, you'll do that every single time. Like give me the zeros for the 1 mega hit that I can roll into this super top heavy contest.
Yeah, we're going to pivot our better in best ball mindset to better in weekly winners, like, because it's isolated weeks, isolated spikes.
Yeah,
exactly.
And again, it is crazy, like, across all of these formats, how stacking remains a critical component. Obviously, how you do it. I would be curious, Chad, on some of the ROI, and then kind of going back to what Nez was just saying, because the thing I always think about overstacking is what is the cost, right? Like if I'm doing 3 or 4 late round things, I'm more willing to overstack. But say you use that Bengals example and it's like you have Chase and Higgins and all of those guys, Brown up there, then what you need from them seems a little trickier. I'd be curious to know how the ROI changes by amount of capital spent.
It's a good question. I do not know. I will, but I'll try and figure it out and send it over your way so you can share it with everyone too. So
yeah, you just came here to do a casual podcast and now you have homework that you got.
I do. Hey, I made this deck a week or so ago, sent it to Nez, and I've just been pulling on threads since then too. So homework's a good thing.
Yes. All right. Same mechanism, earlier decision point. Is this kind of like a little decision tree here for the draft and things to be thinking about?
It's kind of like, how do we put this into play in 2026 now that we've got the different prices for everyone, with everyone pushing up? So it breaks it out kind of by rounds here. So rounds 1 and 2, trying to get those ceiling backs immediately. The top 12 is always going to be gone essentially by pick 24 this year, where last year it wasn't always gone. The turn tends to be one of the better spots that you can be. So the back half of the board, to make sure that you get these ceiling backs early. The hard part is it makes it harder on the 2-3 turn, because every once in a while you'll get one that falls, or you might like somebody better who's RB14 right now, right? So, but first two rounds, I'm generally taking 2 running backs there, unless there's a massive faller on this. So that goes back to your question earlier about elite tight end and Bowers. That's why I don't have much Bowers, but I do have a fair amount of McBride on here. So that's where round 3, it says running back 13 through 18. It is a ceiling price we are paying for them. But if you think they've got that spike profile that can get up there, and it's not just a play on volume, go ahead and take him if you like it. Or take one of those receivers or McBride, because he's the one guy hit 8 weeks as a top 3 that didn't really get repriced here. So
Guys, I solved weekly winners right now. It's CMC, it's HN, it's McBride, and then you take Waddle and then Tootin. Game over.
So you're saying that due to Chad's data, you solved weekly
I
winners?
did. Yes, I personally solved. I put in the hard man hours to solve this with Chad's data.
Yeah. What would you say, looking at these kind of whatever guardrails, would you say what is the market getting wrong via ADP right now that you see in weekly winners?
I think we're still drafting some of that dead zone running back. The running backs who do not have the ability to really truly spike in there, and it's just because the volume that we're playing on it in that round 5 and 6. I don't love Judkins probably does have some of that spiking. That offense I just think is going to be so bad. So I'm passing over Judkins most of the time here on it because that's kind of, to me, a volume play generally. Because how many times is he going to get 3 touchdowns in a game? And that might be what you need for him to spike into the 30s, especially with Dylan Sampson there taking a lot of the receiving work potentially on it. So I still think we are drafting that type of a profile a little bit too much and not necessarily pivoting at that point to the receivers who can still put up. A receiver in that neighborhood a lot of times can put up something similar to what Judkins can.
Yeah, the 50 through 76 ADP that I'm looking at right now, that Judkins, Warren, Stevenson, Chuba, Pollard, like those guys that are propped up to be people's RB4 instead of taking the swing on Carnell Tate, QJ, Parker Washington, Brian Thomas, Rome, guys like that who can give you 25 burgers.
Yeah. And there's a couple of guys sprinkled in that range that I like. Sure. Travion is going to be a guy who I could see spiking. I don't really like Ramondre in this format. So generally in best ball, I've been Ramondre. I had a lot more Ramondre at price than Travion too. So it is the different format. I'm really looking for that spike outcome.
Yep. And then it's like what the more you slide down the draft board, do you loosen that up a little bit, or like are the Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakirs of the world, are those off your board in this format?
Those guys are fine at receiver because I really want that running back spike, and Malik Washington hit my lineup with an 11.6.
Right.
Shakir can do that without it. He can do that in his sleep most weeks. He's not going to get you 18, but
yeah.
4 for 40 and 1 is findable.
Yep.
Right. That makes sense.
So, and that's why the later rounds, I'm taking a lot of those receivers who kind of have that projectable, not volume, projectable role in the offense. There we go.
Yep. So this next slide, we had a question from Blake here. You may discuss this, but what are the best structures? We do have a slide here titled "Structure Beats Uniqueness." John down bad with this title. What are we looking at here?
So this one, it didn't necessarily lean into 3 quarterback, 5 running back, 7 receiver being the optimal way to go on it. But it was not scrolling down. So Pete, you're kind of down bad on this one too. So 96% of people drafted in the top 20 were drafted in over 50% of drafts. So, wow. We are drafting, 218 people in here. So it is really hard to get a scroll that is going to crack a top 8 in a lineup through here. Not impossible, obviously, but it's hard. If this analysis was done the Kyren and Puka year, that number is going to be completely different. So take it all with a grain of salt on here. But Kyren and Puka are unicorns in data, just in general. They're outliers with it. So,
guys, hear me out. Badge Bros Brawl weekly winners.
There you could get some scrolls.
So, yeah,
there we go.
Oh man, John, we're
so back.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was
Frenchie
wow.
Friday 93 Bad Bros Brawl weekly winners.
All
Yeah.
one tournament name.
Yes.
with dashes between every word.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Numi? Hope you're taking some notes down there. Oh, what we got an appendix. Holy shit.
You do what
Buckle
you want
up,
with this
folks.
one, or we can hop into a draft. So,
Is there
a lot of
anything else in here that's interesting?
At slide 22, I'd say. And
Oh my
this
god,
is-
slide 22. I'm on 15
I know,
here. Look
it's
at this
way too
good
much.
stuff. All right. Okay, you got some every weekly winners quarterback stack in there. That's fun. Slide 22, the lowest score at every slot by tier. That's cool. Yeah, talk us through this one.
So this one, I broke down all of the positions and kind of what you needed to hit this. So like the one that really stood out to me was that QB, a top 1% rate. Somebody got that there with 0 from their QB, and it was a week I won, and it was because of the same 3 running backs I had. So he had Purdy, and I can't remember who the other quarterback was, because when I ran this and my friend Claude gave me that answer, I'm like, there's no way that is correct, right? And it pulled the roster, and it was. So, but you need minimum 16, 17 points from your quarterback to be a winner. Your RB1, the minimum score that it had was a 26. So
Wow.
you need that spike. So,
Wow.
whereas
Minimum.
wide receiver 1 is a 20.9, right? So that can be found later. The 26, it can happen, but I mean, you're just making a lot harder on yourself to not be taking those running backs early.
Why is this, guys? Why?
Opportunity cost
Yeah.
with that. And it was just so I mean, all the qualifiers on small sample size, it's a single year. And I mean, the top running backs mostly smashed last year. So
Wait, am I reading this right? So there was someone won a weekly winners week with a 7.8 at quarterback?
that was a top 0.1%. So
But still.
16.7 though is pretty damn low.
yeah.
True. Yeah. Oh, you're right.
And-
Top 1%. Yeah.
Yeah. And tight end, I mean, a 9.7 was a winner. Flex an 8.6. That is weird to me. Like that you only needed an 8 from one of your positions and you could still win.
And
That-
wide receiver 3. Wait, am I
Yes.
seeing that RB2? Does that mean that you could have a top 1% without by taking a 0?
A 0 at RB2 got a
Wow.
top 0.1%. It probably was like a Josh Allen week or something, and maybe even Pitts with a 40. So
I think my lineups represented all of those. Just one RB2 away from a massive bank. I remember quite a few teams where I was like, "What the hell happened here, man?"
Yeah.
This week 10 winner is fascinating. So it was a 3 quarterback build that was triple stacked all 3 of them. And it was Anthony Richardson to Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor put up almost 50 that week. So it was a 48.1. So he lapped the field at RB1. And then Love to Wicks and Reed did nothing. And it was JJ McCarthy to Jalen Naylor. And Jalen Naylor had 20.9 fantasy points, and JJ McCarthy had the 16.7. Unbelievable.
Nine's up, baby.
Nice.
Nine's up.
That is insane. Yeah, it is interesting. You know, you see even like the week 3, right? It's like Trey Tucker has that insane game for 36.9. And then you get the correlation with it with Geno Smith. I assume pretty cheap stack there that unlocks everything else for you.
Yep. Pete, do you want to go to the next slide?
Yes.
This
20
one,
or 23?
20. So I tried to measure risers and fallers on here. So based on news and like neighbors is what really made me look at this in the last couple of days. So how does like it affect your ROI? Pre-move, post-move. It was interesting here how it was hard because there wasn't a ton of data for early last year. It was really just Hampton that was the big mover early on in the draft. If you drafted in pre-move versus post-move, you actually had better top 1% rates post-move. So it does not hurt to buy that rise. That is what I wanted to know. on here, which makes some sense when you're talking about 18 different spots and like you're just going to get those unique roster combos on it. Mid QB, same thing. It was better to buy that rise. Mid running back, this is the same dead zone. So a role became clearer with it, but they don't have the ceiling. So we were buying volume on here. So which is what caused that rise. And your top 1% went down on it. So every single, or not every single, mid wide receiver, another one that was positive to buy the rise on here. Late QB, but a lot of them, if you drafted it after the move, kind of cost you on here. So it's interesting, but I would not buy any running backs who are moving up just because they got, I wouldn't say any, but most, if you don't think that they have the ceiling with it, I would not buy that running back moving up.
Yeah,
Even
that's
late
a
running back was bad.
Dylan Sampson ass stat from last year.
Yeah. Well, and then the fallers, the inverse with that. So every faller drafted after, which makes sense because you've got some better players with your team, but it didn't really hurt you to catch those knives necessarily. There's going to be unique cases. Probably Judkins probably had some impact on here because he just went from the 5th round down into the 14th or whatever for a little bit of time. So just thought that was interesting. And yeah, Neighbors is what spurred me thinking about that.
Yeah. All right. I say, should we do a draft here with Chad and see if we can put this stuff into practice here?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
man.
I want to identify some of these targets for us here.
You said you already solved it, so yeah, go ahead. Tell us.
Well, I solved the first 4 rounds at least.
And
Let's
you
see
named
what
a
the
lot of
rest
guys
is
I
like.
have a lot of. So I'm right there with you, John.
Love it.
You guys are going to get stuck in an overflow if you're trying to chase this right now because I got logged out of my account and have to log back in. So,
Rip.
yep, you guys can all battle each other in the overflow and we'll get the randos in ours. That's how we intend to do this.
Well, we
right.
are hitting our off and on the clock rug quota for the week. What was it? Min 3 rugs per show?
Yeah, it's in the contract.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Let's see here. 6 more. Yeah. So hopefully, hopefully you guys got in the underflow there. How many did you say, are you doing slow drafts for these, Chad?
Yeah, I'm doing a mixture with it. So
Nice.
honestly, it's probably going to come out about 50-50. I'm halfway done with the weekly winners drafts. So
Nice. Let's see here. All right. We have the 102.
There we go.
That's a pretty good slot for us here.
Yeah. We like this.
Jonathan Taylor. Let's do it.
We've seen the tweets.
I'm not going to lie. I've taken him at the 2 early on. I'm not doing it anymore. So some of the other analysis, like the standard deviation with him and how spiky he is, he fits this perfect. I was taking him over CMC, and I will very much listen to that argument that JT should go ahead of CMC in this format.
Love it.
That is a really, and it sounds like you're keeping some of the player specific analysis close to the vest here. Can't leak all the alpha, but the CMC being a bit of a floor play with the thesis being the receptions. In JT, it's like we're all a little spooked on it, but it's like if he hits, it's the big plays.
It is. And I mean, how much time you got, P? Because we're already an hour into this. If you want all the player takes, so.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I want the Chad take every time we're on the clock. Is this Bijan easily for you every time?
It's Bijan. Yep. Getting the 102 your decision's made for you. So
he famously just got paid today. In case you missed it,
he did. I am a little bit worried about how much his picture looks like the genie from Aladdin, but aside from that,
Have you seen the new hair, Pete? It's
the video where it looked like he calls for the ball when his hair flips up.
Yeah, it's awesome. Chad, one thing that I would be curious about, and I'm sorry I didn't do this ahead of time, is like I would love to know, like yes, we know the total fantasy points. I would love to know what kind of stat lines these running backs put up when they spike and how receiving dependent is it? Because that to me would change, I think, quite a bit about about the profile of backs that I like. So, I'd like to look into that and see what the actual like stat lines are to learn about like the players themselves.
Yeah. I don't have like more than vibes that I can tell you about it, but like the week 8 one, I could not believe how it was JT. I think it was against Tennessee. He had 14 carries and put up 30 points on that one. Because he broke off a 70-yard touchdown reception or whatever it was with that one. So, and that's where they ran away from them. And I don't think he really played a ton in the fourth quarter, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like it definitely can vary, and opportunity. I mean, football is just such a random ass game, right? So
Right.
but I can look and see with how big receptions I've played in with it.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Yeah,
there
'cause-
any? Are there any other guys in the first few rounds that say you would be, average or above weight on in traditional formats, but you would be way below in weekly winners?
At the top of my head, not a ton. I'm starting to formulate some of the player takes that I like that I'm going to get ahead on with. I mean, a couple of them are just going there. But it's just I'm going to be loaded on these running backs, everyone who's come off the board here. So
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Do you like I saw our guy Roquette was saying in the chat, he says, hot take, I think the 1-2 turn is the best spot on the board in all formats. With the way this side of the board lines up to get 2 of these high-end guys, do you agree with that spot specifically in weekly winners, like a back-end spot is really nice? Or is the thought of being able to get a Gibbs or Bijan tilt it back to the 101 front side?
I still like the backside of the board because I think, nobody has Gibbs ceiling. So if I can't get the 101 with it, I'd rather be the backside. Bijan does feel a little bit like consolation prize to me. I know he has that ceiling. He hurt me on both of the big finals that I made last year because I had Puka and not Bijan. But I'd rather be the backside and get 2 of the running backs because this is what is happening a lot on the front side.
On the clock here by ADP, Allen, Neighbors, Rice. Is this Neighbors territory?
I've been taking Neighbors now.
Yeah, this is the
Got the same ceiling that even up to JSN has. So
Yeah.
this is the contest to make up for your neighbors, lack of bags for sure.
Nez, I got your Jonathan Taylor question after we make the next pick.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an interesting range here. I mean, Nico stacks the bye week with Neighbors, certainly has the spike upside. Then you're into Rice, McBride, Igbuka, Devontae, Kyron, Love there. What do you think?
God, I've mixed in McBride. I've mixed in Love because I mean he's got that spike, I think. So I've been fading Kyron a lot of other spots. So I'd go McBride right here.
McBride, baby. The formula.
All right.
There it is.
So
Bijan, Neighbors, McBride to start.
Print fest. Absolute print fest. We're going to get Tootin back on the other side. You put Mike Evans in here. He's going to score 3 touchdowns. We've already won a week.
Chad, do you do any like week 1 stacking at all? No.
No, I don't at all. I think it's too hard to try and pinpoint a week that you're going to win. I remember that meta early on. Let's try and find a week and go for it. I just think that's too hard. And even if you're right, then are you handcuffing the rest of your team or the rest of the weeks where you still have an opportunity for it? I'd say you are, even if you're right.
Okay.
Like trying to get to 200 points, like you're not going to pick which week all of your guys spike.
Yeah. Have a little humility. Yeah, with the with the format. Yeah, I get that. I'm like eliminator pilled right now, so I have like week 1 on the brain, and also with Roquette's comment there, 1-2 turn for eliminator is like crazy OP because you're dealing with it in an elevated running back market there. And those guys have the same price that they do in every other contest. So it's like super, super sick to get those back end guys.
Des, to answer your Jonathan Taylor, so he was the highest scoring player in the winning lineup in week 8 and in week 10. He was stacked in both of those. He had he had 2 receiving touchdowns on the season. He had no more than 4 catches other than 1 week, and he had a high of 50 yards. His receiving lines are like 3 for 20, 2 for 50, 3 for 16, 2 for 20, 4 for 14. Like, it was almost non-existent. And the weeks that he was a winner, and even when he was stacked, it was like 3 for 40, and all of the production was ground touchdowns.
Okay, so not like vitally important for him.
He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of 3 or more touchdowns in the first 8 weeks of the season.
Yeah, he was
Crazy.
He was like otherworldly to start the season last year, man.
Chad, how much? Because in this contest, it seems of all the contests, just the way with the pod dynamics, where the combo stuff, especially within your own portfolio, maybe isn't quite as big of a deal. In this one, it seems like you do probably want to be pretty conscious if you're putting in 150 to not be building too many of the same exact teams at the top, or is that not how you think about it?
Yeah, I still like to diversify and get that one piece of data that didn't make it into the deck. Those very concentrated drafters generally did worse. So
yeah,
it was harder.
All right, we're on the clock.
This is the
here.
greatest team ever.
Garrett Wilson, Evans, Henderson, Adams, Judkins, McLaurin, Swift. Is it
John? What do you
Evans?
want? Yeah, what do you
Garrett
want?
Wilson.
Okay.
What do you think?
He's
Chad?
got the spike week, and then yes, I'd go Wilson.
I like
There's
Wilson. I
enough-
was just curious who John was like over the moon for.
Yeah, you had mentioned Evans before, so that's who I thought you meant.
I didn't think Garrett Wilson was going to come back. This is amazing. And now we get whichever running back we want with a spiky profile right after, and we're printing.
Is it the Hendo swing here, Chad?
It is.
Fingers crossed.
No.
Nope, and I
I was like, so what about the Pierce swing, week 11 stack, or Bucky? That would be my suggestions. Price or Irving.
I'd
is
go
what I meant.
Price.
Okay.
Price.
J.D. Price.
So then it sounds like you think in this format, Price is probably undervalued by a good bit.
Yes, and the way that I'm looking at running backs, even later on right now, is the ones who break through, even like Javonte last year. Can they secure a role on a top 5 to 10 offense? And what's it going to do if they get that role and all to themselves? Because that's how Javonte broke through with it. Top 5 offense for Dallas. He got it all to himself. He ran with it. So
Right.
like, I'm not going to take the running backs who are like playing for bad teams. I'm not Tajay Spears. If Tony Pollard gets hurt, I don't really care. If he buries me 1 week, okay, it's 1 week out of 17. So,
Well, you have, because it does seem like even here with the Price pick, taking him over guys like Burden and Adams or even McLaurin, that you're kind of saying like that structure is really important to me, that kind of last call for these running backs who can go for 30. Does that mean you, in your portfolio, would you have any teams that look like Heath Jones here from the 4 with 5 straight wide receivers, if that's what the room gave you, or would you kind of force the issue?
I would not go 5 straight wide receivers, but I will have some 0 RB teams, but I'm going to have some elite onesies is what I'm mixing in with it. So
Gotcha.
Makes sense. Have you done any single tight end teams when you do like Trey McBride?
Quite possibly. I've done like 1 or 2. I generally will tack on a tight end at the end, stack him with my QB. McBride, he's got a bye week. He's not going to spike every week. So if need be, it's not a bad way to go. I don't put a ton of capital into it at this point at all. But I mean, if I get forced into a bad spot where all the tight ends are gone and I only have McBride, I'm not going to force it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Nice
it's
guy
not
to pair
like-
with.
yeah, sorry.
No, nice guy to pair with Ferg. They're the only 2 teams on week 14 bye.
There you go. Yeah. I'm just not gonna let myself get forced into anything, even if it's taking a 0 1 week. Where with the pod format and for best ball, I don't want a 0 any week. So
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we are here drafting weekly winners with Chad, trying to apply some of the data he shared with us. If you're just tuning in now, make sure you watch the first half of the show where Chad shared all kinds of goods via, as Roquette said, a very nice deck, a slide deck, that is, not a Denny Carter type of
Jeez,
deck.
No, not that. No, not a huge, ginormous deck.
No. Although this deck did have an appendix, so it was pretty huge. And ginormous. Bijan Neighbors, McBride, Garrett Wilson, Jadarian Price. We are about to pick here at the end of the 6th round. What kind of things are you thinking about here?
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Well, I could have said
No,
it.
there it goes.
But Hurts would have been a nice fall. So
Yeah.
Tyson has
yeah.
the Neighbors week 8, and we kind of lean into the rookie stuff here, play a little later season.
I like Tyson because Shuck's a nice later QB option. Looks like we're probably going to play the multiple QB route here, obviously with some later guys. And I think Tyson's spiky. I think he's a very fun weekly winners selection.
He is.
Yeah, we add Tyson to the squad here. Did you say you liked Ramondre or not as much here?
Not as much on this one.
Dowdle?
Week 11's nice with Ramondre.
That's
but
what I was
yes.
thinking. Yeah.
Okay, same week. Yeah, that's fine then. I didn't look at that quick enough.
Yeah. Let's do it. We'll grab Ramondre. Triple week 11s. It's our top 1% ROI. It just goes tick.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
feel it? Can you feel it?
So what do you start thinking about with these wide receivers as far as from like a quarterback or stacking standpoint? Is it like, yeah, I'm trying to get Shuck, Dart, and Geno. Obviously the McBride one's interesting depending on what you're optimizing for there. How have you been thinking about quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, this one we've got a lot of options open. If it was me drafting, I'd have those guys in my queue already just so I can keep an eye on them as I'm going.
Okay,
But
Levitan, relax.
I know.
He can't go anywhere without getting Q shamed anymore. I love it.
Yeah.
You want all your
But-
quarterbacks in the queue.
No, not all the quarterbacks, just those 3. Just so I can see when they start going on.
How
me.
about this? I won't forget them for you.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, I want to stack these guys up there, and we've got options. Dart's a nice spiky guy here. I know I just said it, and that's probably going to jinx us as we're coming around, but
He's
he'd
a
be
good
nice
spiky
one
guy for us, but he doesn't
for
make
us.
sense on anyone else's rosters.
Nobody
Good point,
else. He
Pete.
doesn't. He doesn't run at all. So
That's right. Chunk the Deuce. No. Check the title, or maybe it's down here for you. Weekly Winners Alpha from a sharp drafter. That is Chad Maschke. Chad, are you going to be firing at the dog bowl again this year?
yep, I will be. So.
Don't sound so
You gotta get-
excited about what that
I know,
means.
man. I know.
It's exciting when you win. It is a hell on the bankroll when you do not. So
Yes.
Yeah, we I was talking to Chad a little bit, talking about like week 1, getting excited. I was like, yeah, I'd really like to keep it to like 20 or 30 like week 1, and just kind of like just take it slow. And like he just like laughed at me. He's like, yeah, okay, man.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
we
beyond
all
that.
know that's not going to happen. It's
Yeah.
way too exciting. So
I know.
week
I
1
know.
is when there's so much randomness going on too. So
I know, right?
Come on, Trav. Dart makes no sense for your team, bro. None.
No sense whatsoever.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for the donation, brah. All right. Let's see here what we're looking at 8-11. We got the 3 running backs, the 3 wide receivers, and McBride. Certainly a pocket here with quarterbacks and some spike week wide receivers here. Where do you think the Broncos running backs fall into the weekly winners plan?
I've had such a hard time with the Broncos running backs, and The tools keep on telling me to take him, and I keep passing on it. Jaden Reed, yeah.
I was gonna say, it's a week 11
Yeah.
bye, Spike Week King there. That seems like a nice pick for us.
A little bit of just a slight bit of steam on him being in 2 wide receiver sets too, but we'll see. Got to keep it close here to that. But that was the first we've heard of it. Can we just look at running backs?
Yeah. I don't mind taking a swing on
This
Harvey.
is like a Harvey slam dunk, right? It's weekly winners, man.
Yeah, it's Harvey or I mean, I'm the Vikings guy. Harvey's the right pick. So based on everything,
Way to check yourself.
I was gonna say Addison. Like, isn't Addison a better in weekly winners format and gives us another stacking out?
That was a tier break clear as day. Like,
Yeah.
Because that's the thing with these guys that we like about them in BBM, like Mason Gainwell, Bill, Jones, Rodriguez, Tracy. I think all of those guys serve a purpose, but man, do any of those guys have that 26 point threshold in them?
Bill, maybe. If
Yeah,
things are
maybe.
right.
Yeah.
But like otherwise, like that was we are seeing a different type of running back start to go, and we know how important it is to load up at these guys. So yeah, I think Harvey was a smash there. Good swing.
Yes. Tyler says J.K. Dobbins pinky promise 17 healthy weeks, and you're laughing. That's right.
I am.
Yeah. So we got the 4 running backs, and have you said you probably haven't been doing a ton of 0 RB builds. You are trying to prioritize the early running backs. Are you generally at kind of 4 to 5 and then shutting it down?
To a certain degree, yes. And I do like a couple of later swings for the trying to get running back on a top 5 offense. So if that does come through, so I'll generally be 4 through where we are now. But a lot of times I'm 4 a little bit earlier than we are. So, but Neighbors and Garrett Wilson falling and McBride, I mean, those are good picks. So.
Right.
Yeah.
The guys that stand out to me are the contingent guys that could just absolutely ruin the contest. Like, we haven't seen it over the last couple of years, and that's why the data skews so heavy to the top. But like a guy like Tank Bigsby or a guy like Blake Corum, a guy like Kyle Monangai, like those guys are way better picks in this format.
I would push back a little. I would agree with you on Corum because I think he'd be kind of like a 1-for-1 for Kyron. I do wonder, like, would Monangai catch enough passes to have 25+ point upside? You know, I do think the profile matters on what, like, even same with Bigsby, like, would we start to see a little more Shipley in third down stuff?
I think if Swift missed time, Monangai would be like a top 5 running back on the week. He would have so much volume. Like he would touch the ball a ton. Like, yeah, the pass catching stuff definitely takes a hit, but like he would be guaranteed like the goal line touches. Like, they're probably going to be in good game scripts. Like, I think Monangai is pretty strong upside, to be honest. He's like 90% Judkins.
Yeah, but like, I do like, if you think about the price you're paying for the contingent upside in this contest too.
Sure. Yeah. But just as a contingency play himself, I'm saying that's all. But no, I hear you on like the pick cost adjusted.
My thought with the running backs is like usable weeks isn't a thing. Like, usable weeks at wide receiver or back end tight ends a thing. Like, usable weeks at running back isn't. So like, taking a 0 doesn't matter at all. Let's take spectacular zeros.
That would be a great name for a show. Let's take.
I was gonna,
I put Love in the queue, but
I'd go Purdy first.
Okay.
Talk to me about that.
I think he's got a higher ceiling than Love on here. There are some options where we can go on the backside. It's going to be harder, and it's taking the faller, right?
And is that just an element too of, obviously, you're right. There are some backdoor stack options, but even if not,
do you just want to take Debo right here? What's his ADP
could,
here?
Or we could take Love here. Like,
Debo's grinding here.
Is Debo gone?
Yeah, I'm silly. Okay,
No,
I thought it would be. Wow, all right.
That seems rich.
It's a new day.
Format.
Yeah.
I assume Debo would be there. Love's the pick here then. So.
Yeah,
I wanted to hit 2 QBs on this turn. I know Purdy's not stacked, but I think, I mean, we have a couple.
I love Purdy.
Naked Purdy, baby.
Yep.
And he, again, of those quarterbacks, I mean, Purdy has been one of the. It's actually Purdy and Love. I was just talking about this the other day, where I think on Best Ball Breakfast, where he did a naked Love. Like, you'd look at the sim stuff for the BRs, and like these guys spread it around enough, and you don't get the one wide receiver who goes for 20 plus. I mean, maybe that's different this year, having Evans in and just having a caliber of wide receiver who is going to make it more likely that Purdy's stacked up. But the thesis of him spreading the ball around has been pretty continuous over the years.
Yeah.
I love that Eggers thought Purdy was going to fall 2 rounds. Like, we got him at a discount already. He's like, he's so
Hang
mad.
on. Yeah, I gotta update the banner.
That's what I was about to call for. So.
Yep.
If Eggers really wanted Love, he probably should have taken him instead of Pittman.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It wasn't even about Purdy. It was about Love.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
All right. He's back.
Yes.
Where did it go? Okay. All right. Every week, Eggers gets his own banner.
Debo, 9-8. Jesus. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
I like it.
Uh,
I like it, man. Debo wasn't bad last year, and he was on a bad team. Like,
And he had pneumonia and was.
well, that was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
It was
did he get
pneumonia
again.
Then what was it? He was hurt with something last year that we kept doing the Q tag thing on.
A rib, I think.
Rib. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, Debo is my most drafted player, so I don't mind, but
Yeah.
In weekly winners or just everything?
everything. So
Nice.
pretty much every format too. So
Yeah.
it just didn't make any sense to me. And like, we do such a bad job pricing in. If they don't have a team under their name, they immediately go up the moment they sign.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck. That there's like certain guys that I'm just thinking of right now that I'm like better in weekly winners, and I don't know if I'm right or not, but like Keaton Mitchell was for sure on that list.
Would have been
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to. He's probably not going to make it. I was going to say I wouldn't be opposed to Tracy. He's also kind of like a little bit of a tier break, and you could see things breaking his right. I knew Heath with that 0RB build was going to take him.
Yeah.
Let's go ADP. Stribling.
Do the dribbling stuff.
Do
Yeah.
the dribbling thing.
Yeah.
And then I do have an idea for this next pick, but I want to know what Chad thinks too. How many quarterbacks do you think we end up here with, Chad? Just 2?
Depends if anyone falls, but
Okay.
I would not be surprised if it's just 2.
Do you know who's an amazing weekly winners pick? Jacoby Brissett.
Well, I'd like Omar Cooper here is what I'm trying to get at.
Sure.
Oops. God, I was
Below Coleman, sorry.
Fuck. I
Sorry.
haven't done that in ages.
Hey,
So three QB build.
I hope you like Tank Dell and Jalen Knoll.
sorry. We're on the clock, guys. Can we just rewind? We're on the clock in round 13. 12 seconds left. Jacoby Myers is a fucking great weekend. Can we make the pick? Can we talk about the pick?
Jacoby Brissett, bro.
Holy
I will say,
shit.
CJ Stroud's a pretty good guy to backstack if I can cope my way through this auto draft.
All right.
Yeah, I think there's a conglomerate of people that are putting a lot of money on the line to say that CJ Stroud is a great backstack option in best ball this season.
That works.
If
thought
that
Blake-
works.
Yeah. The thing with weekly winners, there are some bad picks, but this late, and if you have options and you just took the top 80, there's worse things in the world. Like, force yourself into building it differently than you would have to start with. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we have backstack options. That's what makes it fun.
That's right. All right. We have 3, 4, 5, 1. We're going to push the plane after one auto draft pick.
Yep.
What do you do here, Chad, as far as thinking about the running backs? Because we were talking about like contingent value plays, like when you are getting into this territory, most of these guys have kind of limitations as far as what you'd get. Do you dabble with these backup guys much?
No, this is a range I'm either going to pull someone up that I like, who we can talk about in a minute, or I will just skip it and go receiver or tight ends, because tight ends are not bad here either.
Yeah.
But with having McBride, do we want to do that?
Yep. Almost the same thought of, I mean, you've already made, like, if you're gonna crash the leaderboard in weekly winners, it's because 2 or 3 of these guys are going for 25 plus points. And it's just like, if that profile doesn't exist in the pool, then just don't force it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
It definitely exists with some of the wide receivers still, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we saw like the bar that they have to clear to be relevant is a lot lower.
And that's why I'll take those shots right now instead of forcing something else. So
After we make these 2 picks, I do have a question, because you said off the top, you kind of acknowledged that we're in a bit of like an anomaly running back health wise for the last 2 years. So, am curious if you are doing, and I know you say you do sometimes 0 RB, but like, are you willing to think that it's an anomaly, or that it's like an actual trend that we're going to see?
That's a great question, because there's a ton of advancements, right, in how people are getting treated and the way people take care of their body. I still think it's an anomaly.
Yeah.
I really do, because it's not like all injuries have stopped. Wide receivers are getting hurt more. So won't that hold true
Schultz
across position?
or Dell? Do you want to do Dell first? What's more important?
I would do Schultz first.
Okay.
On here.
Sure.
See that, guys? That's how plan comes together.
Yep. If we get Dell on the way back, this team just like went from like a oopsie to a shipper.
From an oopsie to a whoopsie. Was there anyone else on your radar here, Chad? Or do you think just going in on the Texan stack makes sense here?
Can I see running backs quick?
Yeah. We're looking at Kamara, Sampson, B-Rob, Marshawn
Lloyd is the other one for me.
Yeah, we got a Green Bay thing going on too.
You want to flip it?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Look at this week 11 buy maxing here.
And now Eggers can suck it more out. Come on.
That's right. Let's go. Yeah, we're ROI maxing here. Everything we're doing here is just like up in the ticker. The middle schooler.
Said in the voice of Jeffrey Epstein, the financier.
Mm-hmm.
In a room where I haven't just been talking about all of this, I might have tried to push Lloyd around, but I don't think there was any way he was coming back to us.
No, they weren't.
I'm comprising my list of like guys that I would vault that tier, like that tier that we were just looking at, the Pacheco, Woody Marks, Sharbs, C-Rod, like those guys. I'd be vaulting that and be taking like the upside swing guys. And I had Tank as like the number 1 on that one, then Lloyd, then Jaden Blue, Sean Tucker, who scores, 10 touchdowns a year, could score 3 in 1 week like he did last year. Ray Davis, like those types seem more spiky in this format than taking Alvin Kamara's 8 points or Dylan Sampson's backup role on maybe the worst offense in football.
Without a doubt. And you just named a bunch of guys that I have a fair amount of. So that is what I'm leaning into. I mean, RB2, you need to clear at least 15 to win. So
right.
Where does Kamara's 11 help me? It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the rookies are always tough. I mean, they're the ones that could have that in their bag. And I do like Jaden Blue. I know there's talk about how much contingent upside does he have, but I think the pass catching plus could give him 15 points.
Yeah, I think what's most intriguing is his ability to just carve out his own role. Like that's what's fun is that he doesn't need contingency to like kind of be fun. He can be Tony Pollard of old here, like spelling a very Ezekiel Elliott-esque Javonte, who was like laughably bad as a pass catcher. Like the efficient, it's one of the least efficient running backs as a pass catcher in the league. So if they can like get a third down back that actually like has a threat out of the backfield, I think they would be thrilled with that. So yeah, I think we should all be hoping that Jaden Blue is minding his P's and Q's, being on his best behavior, wearing plain black spikes, things of that nature.
Plain black spikes killed me. That was the rep.
Or were they Gucci spikes or whatever it was?
Yeah. The Louis V.
Louis V, that's what it was.
Pulling him out of the World Cup trophy case box.
All right.
I will say I do think you need the contingent upside to hit for weekly winners, but
yeah,
Jaden, I mean, I'm drafting plenty of him regular too, where he has that role.
I think I think he doesn't have like the full 1-for-1 contingent, but he would easily get 4 to 5 plus more carries a game in the event of an injury, even if they use some Phil Maffa ass NPC in the event of a Javonte injury. I kind of do want to take Jaden Blue after all this talk.
Let's do it.
Is he still here?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I would shut down running back after that.
Yeah.
When one of us accidentally already shut down quarterback, so that leaves wide receiver and tight end. I mean, we're probably just wide receiver here for the final two.
I got a tight end.
Oh, for God's sake. Man.
I got a tight end for us.
Well, now that you said that, you got to take him now because he's not making it back because everybody knows, John.
I will say I like Wicks here a lot if he falls.
That would be a gift. For multiple reasons.
It is not Mitchell Evans. I promise you that.
Mitchell Evans just got a hell of a lot sexier in these drafts, though, with my guy JT Sanders hurting his ankle.
Come on, D-Mac, you little fuck today.
Tyquan or Booty.
Yeah. We could do a Jalen Knoll if we want to.
Sure.
Or Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying it for me, dude.
You're welcome.
There we go. Finally.
Cat got your tongue, Nez?
I just listen, man. I got made fun of for drafting Alvin Kamara in a total points league this weekend. So now I'm just like, I'm just shutting up. Like that was a great pick. And like, dude, took Keenan Allen, bro. Like
Nez had a. Should I pull up the draft board of your string of picks at the ship chasing meetup that you're getting roasted for?
Yeah, I mean there were some.
Was this during our 250 draft?
Yes. Contained league total points wins, by the way.
That's it. Just cumulative best ball scoring or set your lineups.
Yeah, tight end premium.
Yeah. No matchups, no playoff weeks, just total points marathon style.
It was just this stretch here. It starts at around 13. We go Aaron Rodgers, Alvin Kamara, Keenan Allen, Isaiah Pacheco. He was getting some
Theo Johnson. I went full brand.
Oh, and Najee Harris round 20.
Damn right, baby.
Yeah.
I love how I don't know if this arrow was put there after the fact, but can you zoom in on that arrow that's pointing to the Najee one?
It says embarrassing, and it was put I think right after I drafted Alvin Kamara.
Oh, okay. So it's just they're pre-Harris pick.
So Pat and I were at the 11-12, and I had Lamb, and Pat like took naked Dak here, and that tilted me, and I was like, how do I get this fucker back? Took Charlie Kolar right before him on his Herbert team, and he was legit pissed. I got that guy good. I'm good.
So awesome that like out of all the scrubs that have stickers, none for Charlie Kolar. Or I don't know, maybe he's on the fullback tab. I don't know. I didn't check the fullbacks.
All right, John, talk about your tight end so some other fish takes him and we don't have to.
Yeah, you ever heard of Taysom fucking Hill and weekly winners?
Get out of here, dude.
Rumors that he's signing with the Broncos. His best seasons of his life came alongside Sean Payton. Taysom Hill, weekly winners legend. We're taking a 0 anyways.
John, how much money have you spent on Taysom Hill on this site? I mean, isn't enough?
Dude, I think I might have made it back that 1 week in the BRs 2 years ago when he went nuke. I might have made it back, but I'm definitely down. I'm stuck lifetime on Taysom Hill for sure.
I think that the Joker thesis is done. I mean, he looked so cooked last we saw him.
Now he's healthy.
They have
The
no
moment
use
you
for him,
said,
man.
the moment you said you had a tight end, I knew who it was.
They got no use for this guy.
So here
I
we
will
go.
say-
This is what round 18 looks like now. Xavier Legette, Eli Raridan, Ray Davis, Cyrus Allen, Devon Vele, Tua.
Can I redeem myself?
Not bad. Yeah.
Like, this is a great format for Michael Mayer, is it not?
Why do we need a third tight end over a seventh wide receiver?
No, I'm just saying tight end names.
Okay.
I'll put him in the queue if it shuts you up.
I
Okay,
mean,
perfect.
if we want a tight end, Tonjes is who I'd go with.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. I'm listening.
Sneaky.
But
I'm
if
listening.
no, if I think you got to go Jalen Noel. Well,
Thank you.
Yeah, well, he
He's
just has a
Canadian.
boo-boo on his finger, right?
It's just a little boo boo.
Okay.
We're gonna rub some dirt on it for him.
Do it.
I told you guys, CJ Stroud, easy backstack. Easy. All right, here's the squad with Chad. Most of these picks, Chad approved. Most of them. Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, CJ Stroud. That's on me. My bad. I'll be better. Play like a champion. No excuses. Bijan Robinson, Jadarian Price, Ramondre, RJ Harvey, Marshawn Lloyd, and Jaden Blue at running back. Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Jordan Tyson, Jaden Reed, DeJon Stribling, Keenan Allen, and Jalen. His name is Noel. And then 2 tight ends, Trey McBride, Dalton Schultz. What do we think, Chad?
I like it. I do. I think the upside picks at running back, which is what you need to carry you through in there, and then I mean, no qualms with any of the receivers at all. So
Yeah.
the Stroud, I mean, we played it as well as you can with that. It really like Stroud has upside too. He's not a bad pick by any stretch.
Right.
Hey, guys, did you hear that? He's not a bad pick. Relax.
I like him better if I already have Nico or Higgins, but he's not bad.
You like him better if you click him with your own agency as opposed
Yes,
to
that does help.
talking about Jacoby Brissett and getting distracted.
Well,
Who did that?
This
No,
team
I
rocks.
can't even blame you for you. I was zoning out. It wasn't even Jacoby. It is fun. I like it. You know, again, the running back conversation I do think is interesting, but I really think Marshawn Lloyd, Jaden Blue, like if you were to get a giga smash late round running back, being an offense like that, a shakier veteran running back in front of them, I do think they can do the 3 down stuff that would give them the 20-point upside there.
Yeah, it's like a long play team, you know, for sure. Where we're just like we this is definitely like more like a week 4 plus type of team where Neighbors gets a little more healthy, Blue
Yep.
or Lloyd can like maybe find them in, obviously even RJ Harvey. But
Christ.
we're set up to capture that. Yeah, right. And we're set up to capture that on this team.
Let's just not waste Keenan's, week 1 24-point score, before everybody else
Oh,
comes along. Any other words of wisdom, Chad, as often on the clock viewers funnel into weekly winners after this show?
no, I saw a comment earlier asking about 1 QB builds. I would not do 1 QB builds. I mean, I would always stack another QB onto your build. It gives you so many more lineups that you can come up with. And we saw earlier too that there was a top 1% team that took a 0 from their QB. I mean, imagine if they just had a 15 from there, what that does to their ROI. So it's not worth risking that. And that's why when you were asking me earlier about McBride, if I'll take another tight end, I will, just in case, with something like that. Because the 0 doesn't hurt you nearly as much, but if everyone else on your team spikes, that sucks. So
yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with that now. I definitely changed my tune on single onesie builds for sure.
Yeah, the first year I did that a ton, and I did it with Lamar all the time. So and that worked out, but I think that was luck more than a great grand strategy.
You just see that Geno Smith, Trey Tucker thing, and those quarterbacks are just such an easy way to add points to your roster and just give yourself that secondary out. Sweet, dude. Well, this was great, Chad. Really appreciate it. What's that shit-eating grin on your face, John?
The one quarterback stuff, I remember being like the kingpin of the movement, and we're just slowly throwing dirt on my grave as I sit here and listen to it. I'm like, fuck, I was so wrong, bro.
Our heart was in the right place. I think the thesis made sense, but you know, we had hubris.
I also am just now seeing the private chat, and Chad was all over John's telegraphed tight end pick. He goes, "It's Taysom, I assume." I read it in that tone. I don't want to, put tone on Chad, but clearly that's how he said it.
It wasn't an excited one. It wasn't an excited tone. That's for sure.
No,
Yes.
but I did see. I mean, Sack took Taysom in your guys' draft, didn't he? The FFPC. I feel like I saw that somewhere. So
Jacob did.
Jacob,
Yeah, I think
that's
Jacob
what it was.
did.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
102. Yeah.
Yeah. Eggers, dude, he's like asking me to ask Chad if 3 running back with the same buy is cool. We just talked about this, dude. As many buys as you can get from the same team is cool. Your EV just goes up and up.
I think he took 3. He's saying he took only 3 running backs, and they all have the same buy.
Well, then in that case, check the banner, bruh.
Yeah, thank you.
It doesn't hurt. The going from 5 to 6 RBs in the data doesn't really help at all. But I mean, you're throwing darts at the end anyway. So
Yep. Awesome. Chad, do you want people to follow you on Twitter? Do you just want to be an anonymous member of the community, pseudo anonymous? What do you want?
I'm around. I mean, Twitter at Chad Maschke. And then I'm in the Discord. If you tag me, I'll pop in. If you don't tag me, I probably won't see it. There's just too much going on. I've always been a completist, so like I would try to stay up on everything that's in there. So once it got too much for me, it just became too much. But yeah, Twitter is probably where I will be hanging out more than anything. So
And
any questions? Reach out. Everything should be open. So
I'd love to tell you to fuck off. So just reach out and will you charge the for the slide deck? Chad will sell that the full deck and the appendix for $5.
Yeah, you deserve to make a little bit of money on that. You did a ton of work in preparation for that and presenting it. So thanks for coming on. Always great to talk with you. All I was going to say was, as we sign off, Numi went crazy. We got a third puppy, 1 million in prizes, and a second pit bull, $500,000 in prizes. So go to your wives, go to your significant others, grab their purse. Just kidding.
Numi, where is it here? He put the puppy in the bag, guys. He put it in the bag like Mac Miller there. 1.5 million in prize pools. Good stuff there.
That is fire, man.
yeah.
All right, awesome. John, you guys, do you have any additional Badge Bros content today?
I'm done for today and tomorrow. Nezzy, are you going to do anything baseball related?
Not today. Tomorrow, though, gonna hold it down. Probably do some best ball. Get some drafts in. It's crunch time. Slipping a little baseball at the end, but gonna be a best ball focus for August. It's the big push.
Perfect. I'll be there Thursday, Friday.
Beautiful. As far as for me, I got Swolecast later today. Also, going to be doing Wednesday editions of Best Ball Breakfast for the month of August. Going to strike while the best ball lobbies are hot. And because I'm so far ahead of pace for BBM, maybe tomorrow we do like some pit bull drafts, but 3 really fun guests tomorrow. Alex Cups, of course. So you think you can tout Champ. And then Cooter Doodle from Fantasy Life and Ben Gretsch.
Nice.
Nice.
We're going to be mixing up the lineups on Wednesday. Best Ball Breakfasts, ADP chasing tonight, ship chasing tomorrow. And then I have Danny Heifetz from The Ringer is going to be my guest on the randomizer on Thursday. And then we'll do the Best Ball Bash after the randomizer. And then I booked Shady Advice for After Dark on Thursday. So busy week. Excited to be back in the saddle. It'll be a fun sprint here the next 5 weeks before the season starts. Thanks again to Chad, the chat, everyone except Eggers, to Nez, to John. If you guys have any other contests you'd like us to focus on or do a deep dive, let us know. Otherwise, we will keep bringing the heat here every Tuesday at noon Eastern. We'll see you guys next time on Off and On the Clock.